just want to praise you, Lord, and thank you and adore you for all the gifts that you so generously pour upon us at every moment of our life, even the ones we don't recognize as blessings, but they are. We thank you for families, for friends, for everything that has happened in our lives that have enriched this very moment, the present moment, which is itself a gift to us. That's why it's called the present. We ask you, Lord, to bless all members of our families, especially those who need our prayers the most, struggling from any kind of a problem. But we praise you, Lord, for the gifts of life. Joseph will share us pictures of the baby. And Jenna was celebrating her big 3-0 this Sunday. And all life, obviously precious. The sacraments that we just received all over the world. There's our brothers and sisters who received all their sacraments and they received into the church. But also those persecuted Christians, Lord, we know that the greatest gift they could have is to come home to you in heaven. Although the circumstances may be horrific and terrible, but they earn their reward. They get it because they have offered their life. So we thank you, Lord, for their sacrifice. We pray for everyone that we know, everyone that we don't know, that need our prayers the most. Certainly those suffering from inclement weather and other persecutions. And those who cannot make it today, those who are still in their walk for Rcia, IA. We have some of your classmates still on their journey, okay, finishing up other issues so that they may receive their sacraments soon. And all those who will receive confirmation in Eucharist in the coming weeks, we have plenty, all ages in all the parishes. And everything that is in our hearts, Lord, in thanksgiving and supplication and intercession for all those who need it the most. Our Father, who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Amen. Please go get some pizza and cake. Okay, that's a lot. So anytime, just get up and get it, okay? Anyways, so we were not able to meet last week because they always give us that week off, you know, for all the things that we had to do before Easter, which is one of the busy, Lent and Easter, the busy times of the year. But, you know, as Catholics, we all know, there's no rest for the weary. You know, there's always something to do, and all for the Lord. You know, we don't know how we do these things. We just keep on and on and on, and then we fall flat, and then another group of volunteers come up. You know, so Christians die and Christians come up. The church is run by volunteers, paid staff, but you know what? There's no money in the church. It's not a career move for us. Certainly not me. Anyways, but people, you know, pick up where people, you know, leave and drop or, you know, just finish their journey. Somebody else comes up and picks up. That's how the church has survived. The church has, you know, thousands of years, hundreds of years, and it's going to go on. So, you know, the first time you came, those, especially those who are really skeptical, and when I meet them first, somebody dragged them in there, you know, and, you know, yeah, I had people where I've had to meet with the person who invited them and the person who got invited, and I had to sit down with them, and the other one says, well, I had no intention, but, you know, she kind of put me here, forced me to come here. I said, okay, well, let's see if we can do something to make you want to come to the classes, right? But anyways, then they become the loudest, the most vocal converts, you know, after they've learned. They came with an open mind, you know. So we praise God for those. Those that have that are new as Catholics, yeah, you're going to meet people now. The Lord is going to drop them right in front of you. people are going to say, what did you just do? What? What you do? You're going to get those. Pale Catholics, come on, especially those of us who, we're trying to be faithful. We're trying to practice our faith, and the whole world looks at us as if we're nuts. We're fanatics, right? We've been accused of that, right? What happened to you? What happened? Now you're in an institution, institutionalized religion, whatever they want to call it. And now, you're looked upon as crazy or all kinds of things. That's part of your persecution. Part of the unbloody versus the white martyrdom. It's part of it. It's not red. It's not bloody, right? You're not giving your life, but you're walking there. You're going. The neighbors see you going to church, and they're thinking things about you, not nice things. That's part of your persecution, okay? Because the Lord said, "Pick up your cross." If they had already mocked and insulted him, ridiculed him, misunderstood and all this, why do you think you're not going to get those? So, I told you before, a few weeks before your sacraments, I tried to discourage you from becoming Catholic. Didn't I tell you? I told you, be ready for persecution, be ready for crucifixion. So I gave you a chance to back out, okay? About 2 weeks before your sacraments. And nobody did, so we're going to have a lot of crosses lining the streets, like they had in Rome, right? Did you see that movie, Paul the Apostle? You saw that one? That is true. Because they would line up, the street, the roads with crosses where they hung, these criminals and Christians. They were the lamppost. They lit the streets. Those were the human torches. Because they were experts at this. This was their method of punishment. They were experts. They knew exactly, like Jesus' nails, they knew exactly where to put it so that it doesn't, go through when he's hanging. They know exactly where to. You had that handout, right? My 13-pager that describes the crucifixion, the sweating of blood, everything that happens during the Passion of Christ. So it's very hard. Well, it's very technical, but it was meant to be one of your meditations. And if you didn't read it through, well, just visit it, every once in a while. And just to remind yourself of what Jesus went through. Because that details everything that happens to the human body during this process. So you could really appreciate his love, the extent to which he went to express you his love.
Some folks say that, I can't watch the Passion, it's too bloody. If you know, it's not as bloody enough. Because they, as Aurora said, they were executionists. That was their job. And when he fell, Jesus fell, they didn't want him to get up. It would have been, that's all, if we get rid of that guy, we'll go to the next one, because we get out here early. Someone's at home waiting for that. They were experts in that.
Yeah.
And so they didn't care one bit about his feelings or anything else. And so I told myself, I don't really think it's bloody enough, because there was so much there that you don't see that, when he falls, it wasn't just stand back. No, so.
Yeah. And they did, several a day. It was so mechanical.
Yeah, as soon as they get
It
up.
was still routine for them. There's a criminal. And I don't know, how many criminals did they have? It's just, So anyways, that experience that you had, at the Easter Vigil, like, if you ask me to express what I had felt, all the things that were running through my mind and heart, that we're going to be here all night. What I would like to ask is for you, the brave ones who want to share. It doesn't have to be Easter. The ones that receive sacrament at another time, Atlanta. This is like the debrief session. Can you share with us, what was going on in your mind, your heart, the first Eucharist? was trying to give you a pep talk right before the Mass. And, which is my favorite time to let you know. Give Jesus, your bridegroom, everything you want for this wedding night. You know, that's my favorite part. You know, I want to give him everything I want, not just what I need, but what I want. I want to ask him now, I want this for my wedding night, and which bridegroom will not give his bride, you know, what she wants. We are the bride of Christ. It's one of the pictures that St. Paul tells us, showed us. The church is the bride of Christ. So that was one of, wait a minute. Joe, I need to share the pictures of the baby. I promised everyone, you know, Thanksgiving for this baby. And when was the birthday?
25th.
25th. March 25th. Sweet, sweet baby.
That was today.
Tell us about the baby.
9 pounds, 10 ounces.
9 pounds.
Natural birth. She was born on 25th
Oh my God.
of March.
Congratulations. And the name of the baby is?
Peyton Linda Sponbauer. My mom's name was Linda. She died in a motorcycle accident in 2012.
Oh, wow. That's a Gerber baby.
Poor wife didn't have a baby, she had a toddler.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
The gift of life.
Sort of pre-diabetic.
She had gestation, but I don't think
Gestation, but
they
another
did.
WI.
I don't think they did.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was a lot.
My kids are 3 weeks late.
3 weeks late.
Both of our kids, like, are
3
3
weeks.
weeks.
Really?
Ended up coming C-section, yeah. I was saying, our kids, my mom told us that, you know, all 5 of her kids, when they got to be about 10 pounds, they slept through the night. And that seemed to be the case for both of ours too. Our son slept through the night 2 weeks after he was born. Our daughter took 6 months.
Oh, boy.
We lost the picture.
Okay, who's going to be first? We better get ready now. Who wants to share first?
I can see.
She's with a Cardinal fan.
You were at the-
Well, I'll go first.
You go first, Danny.
You know, I had a double dose.
Yeah, so Bishop, he approached, okay, so he's baptizing the children, you know, and the teens. And then he comes and Bishop goes, oh, we need a double dose for this one. Right? Is that what he said?
I think Ed said something to us. I think we were outside in the line. I
May
think they
have
were.
been-
That's nothing
I don't
to
know,
do.
not, I don't.
What did you tell them?
Sure, Star Rock 17, I know nothing.
Well, you know, really, I wasn't sure how I was gonna,
See?
yeah, you know, I told you in the class before, I said, you might need a gurney. 'Cause, you know how I get emotional sometimes. I didn't know how I was gonna handle this. But, I went through it flying colors. I really did. I was just, I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. I smiled the whole time. And I'm like, well, and after, baptism and confirmation, you know, and sacraments, it was all over and said and done, and Fred and Lynn kept us out at 2:30 in the morning.
Where did you guys go eat?
Yeah, we went days. So we get home at 2:30 and we just went in and crashed. And still I couldn't go to sleep. I was still just, I was just busy. And so the two of us, we lay there and we talked and I don't know what time it was when we went to sleep, and then finally went to sleep and woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, laid there for a bit. We messed around the rest of the day, and I told Susan, we went over to Whitney or something. We were doing something. We went to the movies over here in Gilbert. We was gonna go see Joseph, or not Joseph, Paul. And it wasn't there. And we left and we got down the road a ways, and I told Susan, I said, I need to go back to church. I need to go back.
Truck around, walking
And
back.
so I turned around and came back, because I felt as though,
Yeah.
but I didn't thank him enough. So we came back, stayed here for, I don't know, probably an hour. We just talked to God. That's what I-
I'll have to confess.
Confession.
I met the bishop halfway before we lit the wood. And we were all on the line.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate he wasn't telling me. So when the bishop came, says, that raised it. And I didn't think he was gonna remember. I said, so often I got that. And he remembered.
Well, you know, we stood out there, we talked for the longest time,
Don't you?
like I'd known him for days or months or years. I mean, he was just an exceptional man to talk to. We just stood out there and talked. And then, heads this way. Okay, won't go any further. Need to lean further forward. But that was my Sunday. And it was so worth it. All of it.
What a joyful, everyone,
Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit, you know, the litany of the saints. Every time that happens, I could feel it. Like, I go, Lord, God, I'd like to see the saints. You know, saying, you know, they say this, the litany of the saints, and they say the saint name, and we all say, pray for us. You really feel their presence.
Oh, yeah. I even posted there's something on there that God is not dead. And I said, absolutely he is not, because on Saturday night I felt his presence. Yeah.
And that happened at every Catholic parish in the world.
It's amazing.
Saturday night, first Mass of Easter.
See, I got to go through two of them. This one I got to participate in, and this one was much more fun.
Yeah.
I still dream.
Okay, next.
It ain't hard, we won't beat you with a stick.
Okay, there you go. Huh? You were a little nervous.
Yeah, and then the bishop, he's funny, when he started humorous with the kids.
I remember what he said. Now you tell him what he said.
I'm not, it's embarrassing. He was very sweet, I came up there and he complimented me, I took it as a compliment.
Yeah, it
In
is.
front of the whole parish, he's like, it looks like you've been in the beauty salon all day. I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't expect that.
Take a daily dose. It's like, was it that bad? Is it that obvious? Double dose.
I say, this took me 6 hours to get ready, thank you. So yeah, he was, and then there was one point when we came in, all the lights were off.
Yeah.
And I thought that when the lights turned on, that was really, that was big.
Yeah, that's when we sing the Gloria. You know, that's what, everything is supposed to be dark. This church, it's still bright, you know, I mean, other churches have been, and the real traditional, it's really dark, nothing, you know, and then we would have the, you know, the leaders would have, that would, but even when you look at the website, the web stream, you know, and all that, it's still, it's not dark, you can see everybody, but I really wish they would just keep it really dark, but still, you know, the lights were big ones. But that's the part where, and when it's dark, the candles really show. Even give it even more, you know, the ambient. Yes, we can't say, remember all of Lent, we can't say Alleluia, we can't say the Gloria. That was the part that, when that happened, and every year, it's funny because every year, different parishes, somebody always messes up, you know, when to turn the lights on. One time, I forget what year it was, probably done. Somebody turned the lights on right when we went in, and I go, what? You know, they messed up the timing. It's funny, but nobody, it's okay. This time it was a perfect time.
And I made it to Mass on Sunday. Of course, I couldn't wait to go back. But now I'm going to go out of town tomorrow, Thailand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for a church out there.
Yeah.
If I miss Mass this weekend, that's okay, right? Because I'm
You
gonna
can't
focus
find
on-
one, and you can get to one, or the time, there's no more masses, you know. When are you meeting?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, I won't be there till Sunday, on their time, I can lose the day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, go to daily mass wherever you can, you know, weekday mass.
Yeah.
You tell the Lord, He knows, look, He knows the circumstances, He knows every detail of our lives.
Right.
You know, yeah, you can't find a church and you can get there, or there's no more masses over there. Talk to Him about it.
I think it'd be interesting to go to one though in Thailand.
Yeah, yeah, the same thing, probably in their language. But when you do it, you talk, you understand.
Oh, no, I just know Swati Ka, that's it.
What does that mean?
Swati Ka is hello, Ka, thank you. A lot of balance like this to people. It's kind of peaceful the way they greet. They're
Yeah.
mostly the Buddhists out there, but the way you greet people out there is
They're
kind of
always
nice.
bowing.
When I come back to America and I find myself doing it, we're done with that now.
Well, that's fine, we
Time for
bow all the
cheeseburger.
time. We bow all the time. You know that at Mass, you see people bowing, the times that you bow at Mass is every time Jesus is named, or Christ, you know, Mary, you know, like the time when during the Eucharistic prayer, when the name of Jesus, or Mary, and then her blessed spouse, Joseph, you bow. You know, or the saint of the day is mentioned, you bow your head. So you see, we do this a lot, and you see me kissing the priest's hand a lot, and I bow and all that. You know what, the rosary is mistaken for Buddhist prayer.
Oh, interesting.
Somebody wrote Mother Angelica way in the early days, and they had already been broadcasting the rosary. Somebody picked it up, you know, in one of the Buddhist places. So she gets a letter that says, thank you for Buddhist prayer. The Mother Angelica goes, what Buddhist prayer? This is Catholic network. Somebody, she asked everybody, they figured it out, that it was a Buddhist prayer, that they have something similar. They have beats too.
They do, they have.
And it's, you know, repetitious, something similar in their language, but they thought it was a Buddhist prayer. So anyway, oh, that's fine. We're praying for you too. Mother Angelica.
On EWTN radio, I heard a couple of weeks ago, I remember, I don't think it was Catholic Answers, I think it was Larry Richards or
Yeah.
someone was saying that if you kneel to receive communion, you shouldn't bow before it. You don't
Yeah,
need
you
to
don't
bow
need to.
beforehand because you're making the sign of reverence by
By
kneeling.
kneeling. Yeah,
I
so-
always did those until I heard that.
Oh,
Since then,
no, I
just
don't.
kneel.
I always knew that from the sisters. Since you already kneel, that's your sign of reverence. Well, here's the kneeler, and people, you know, here's the pew, right, the first one. So there's the kneeler, and they still go like this, and then they go, and then they kneel. You don't need to, but we're not stopping you if you want to bow double reverence, fine with me.
Some of us learned our catechism from CCD classes in the East Coast. We didn't learn it from the sisters. That's why I found my way back here.
I
Find out
don't
what I missed.
mind. Really, you know, why, don't worry about those things. Double reverence, fine. I wouldn't worry about that. You know, you become too legalistic where, hey, you can only do this one time, that's it. Somebody will.
And I had to keep focusing on not saying God we trust.
Well, do we not?
Oh,
Do we not
when
trust in
Bishop
God?
says, receive the gifts of the Holy Spirit.
I thought I was ready, and then he comes in on what he accidentally says.
Oh, no, when he
I was having
says,
such a hard time remembering that, and I was doing really well, and then all of a sudden, I'm saying it to myself, and it comes out.
in God we trust. When the bishop says, peace be with you, right? The response is, and with your spirit. So he messed her up by saying, peace be with you, in God we trust. So he messes up, you know, mercy, right?
that God has a sense of
How was First Communion? I need to hear about First Communion. What happened when you received the First Communion? Received Jesus' body and blood.
I felt, oh, go ahead. I felt at that point, you know, that the baptism was very freeing. The confirmation, there was just something precious about it. I didn't want to lose that.
You didn't want to wipe it
on
out?
my pillow, which is,
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't want to lose that. But the sacrament, at that point, you feel like you're in the middle of an eternal bond of love.
It is.
It's the only way I can explain it.
Did you hear that? At that moment, you're feeling like you're in the middle of the eternal bond of love, which it was. Every time you receive communion, every time you receive a sacrament, you go to confession, sacrament of reconciliation. That's an encounter with God. You're right there. I would say you're right in the midst of His arm, and you're right there. He's come, taking you back to Himself. Eucharist, you've taken Him into yourself. How deep can you get? That you have to treasure these things every time. Every moment of the day. And if you start having problems, doubts, whatever problem, any type of problem, you got to go back to that experience where you felt the presence of God, an encounter. Anybody else? Not to chew on it?
Yes. Same way.
I would never do that. Still don't.
I mean,
Why?
that's the way we go.
Well, it's not wrong, but again, it's reverence, But remember, yeah. Until it melted, until it melted. Yeah.
Sisters used to tell us this flesh, Jesus melts away into your heart. In other words, don't rush.
Well, I melted a little bit when that
and
melted.
spend 10, 15 minutes knowing that He's there. If you, of course it happens. I mean,
But then I've also,
God's in charge. It's okay.
Yeah, but
That's true.
yeah.
We learn
But
that.
remember the word that was used by Jesus when He was teaching, John 6. The word that was used, the literal word was no. It's like fresh, it's literally flesh that you are eating. Okay, so it's no, that's the word that was used. No, in John 6. So, so it's not wrong, but we're taught for the reverence part of it. And then obviously, please do it respectfully if you're going to choose, We don't see you, they're just, I'll do it gently. It's not pizza, okay? Didn't hear you, but that's fine. Yes, it will be crunchy. Some, okay, if you've been to other parishes, depending on who made the host, some are really, really still crunchy and very crispy. Some are not so crispy. And then, obviously, here during the Easter Vigil, Holy Thursday, actually, when we consecrate a lot of hosts, because there is no Mass on Good Friday, right? Did you notice that? So they consecrate many ciboria filled with hosts, because on Good Friday, where there's no Mass, but you have the Good Friday service, there's a communion service, so we still distribute the precious body, but there was no Mass. They were all consecrated during the Holy Thursday night Mass, the only Mass of the day on Holy Thursday. So I'm just saying, because of the many people and many, Easter, this is when everybody comes out, even the non-practicing, they come out on Easter and Christmas, right? Or an Ash Wednesday
Cake.
and Pentecost.
Cake cut.
Yeah, cake. Christmas,
Ash Wednesday,
Palm
Easter.
Sunday, and Easter. Because Ash Wednesday and Palm Sunday is when we give out something free.
That's right.
The ashes and the palms. Okay? But you know what? if we gave out $1 million at every communion, guess how long the line will be along Gilbert Road? We're receiving more than $1 million. We're receiving the King himself, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. His body, blood, soul, and divinity. How intimate and how precious, priceless. You can't put money, a dollar sign in front of it. If you realize that, you know, who it is, it's not what, but who. Nobody will leave the church for any reason. They would not leave Jesus. They would not leave the Eucharist. We hear that from Protestant converts. Experts. Somebody called in at EWTN, this is years ago. Dr. Howell, you know, Bible scholar, teacher. So after during the question and answer section, somebody called in. Dr. Howell, with your caliber, this is the question, with your caliber, how can you become a Catholic? So he didn't skip a beat. He goes, whatever the name was, Robert somebody. Robert, yes, with my caliber. Nothing and no one will make me leave the Eucharist. So, and then they went on and just saying, you know, this does not, you know, this is not it. You can be a scholar, you can be scientist, this is not going to make you believe. And I was just talking to somebody, you know, already I have people lined up for the next week. So I said, if it's a leap of faith, at some point, this is all done, all filled and all exhausted, you know. There's going to be a point in time where now it goes to the natural process of gravity. It has come down to feel. The Lord's not going to ask you how much you know when you get there, right? He's going to know how much you love. How much do you love him is how much you loved your neighbor. That's how he's going to know how you love him, how much you loved your neighbor. It all comes down to love. All comes down, because everything else, you know, disappears, all done. You get to heaven, you know, everything else is done. What else remains? Only love remains. Only love. Father Doug has this great phrase, how he described purgatory. Is being reduced to love. Reduced to love. That's the cleansing part of purgatory. You gotta be reduced to pure love before you can enter heaven. Pure love, you know, no more blemishes, no more imperfections, you know. So, I quoted this thing in one of my courses, you know, and I sent it out, and the instructor wrote in my comments, reduced to love. He goes, where did you find this quote? He loved it. He says, excellent. Where did you find this quote? Father Doug. Purgatory being reduced to love. So, anyways, anybody else want to share their experience? Please bless us with experiences. Who else received sacrament? Did you share yours already?
I can tell you about something I saw, because I was at the video.
Yeah.
And I had to be at the 8 o'clock to pick up the crucifix that goes from family to family. And I was there, and I was coming back from communion, and I was so thrilled by it. It just shocked me. Not as I see Gary and Ed coming back from communion.
Yeah, Gary,
I mean, all by himself. That would be like his first communion alone. Not in a big, like a crowd of, everybody there. But there was no one else around. He didn't have any kids or anything. And to me, I mean, it got me, to see that he was, how he must have felt at that particular point in time. As you know, when when, you know, you're not in that big crowd and all that other stuff, but now you're out at advance by yourself, and you're going up to receive the Lord for the first time alone. Amazing. It just blew my mind. But I'm glad I saw it.
Well, I had my own share of surprises, you know, that night. Because when we rehearsed, you know, the papers were saying, you know, first reading, bilingual, da, da, da. At first, they could not get a volunteer for that night, or they could not get enough volunteers to read, because it's a long mass. So I kept getting this email, because I'm, you know, in the Extraordinary Ministers of Holy Communion. So I keep getting this email, we still need these people, we still need these people. So I waited. Well, here it comes, it's the day, the day before. We still need, you know, a reader. And I said, well, I was slotted to do the first, but then now it says bilingual, so okay, that's not me anymore, right? So anyways, that morning, no. When we came early, that was like at, before 7, yeah? So I go and just kind of go last minute, this is, we were doing got the robes in the sacristy and the candles, you know. We were just checking out what else we need to do. I was putting the candles there, baptismal candles also. Okay, I said, well, I'm glad I don't have to read, you know. And he goes, I forgot who was there, Deacon, no, Ivan. No, you are reading. I go, I'm reading, where am I reading, in which one? I thought I was not reading anymore because they told me first, but now the first is bilingual. Yeah, that's Crystal, but now you are reading number 3. I said, I am? Okay, where's number 3? Let me see. So I read it. I didn't even finish it because somebody else was asking me a question. I said, okay, I think I get no hard names there, no hard. I said, that's fine. So I go. So here I am. You know, 3rd reading, right? Ivan, are you going to let us know when to go? Yeah, I'm going to, okay. Okay, so I'm fine now. I'm number 3 anyway. I'll just do what the first 2 do. Anyway, so I go there and I'm reading, and then towards the last part, you go, it was the reading from Ezekiel. It was the one we did, you know, the last meeting that we had, was it? Where it says, you know, I will give you hearts. You surrendered your hearts of the rock, the pebble. Those are your hearts of stone, and the Lord will give you a heart of flesh. That was that reading, and I'm going, oh my God. This is what we touched on, you know. And you'd think I would remember. We do this every year. But you're just so busy, right? You're busy in so many things, and how many readings in the year have I read? You know, I do daily mass, and so you really don't think of, oh, this is the reading I'm going to hear. No, you just listen when it's happening. And I was reading, and I'm like, this is what we did that last Thursday. Oh my gosh, what a gift. So I had my own gift, you know, my own share of surprises, but it just never gets old. When you guys are receiving your sacraments, you know, I don't know if my lips are moving, but in my heart I'm going like this. I'm, you know, 100 miles a minute talking to the Lord, because I need to pray for each one of you as you're being baptized. We're lining up, right? I know who's going, and then who's being confirmed. Talking like this to Jesus, Holy Spirit, God the Father. Confirmation, come Holy Spirit, you know. Oh my God. I just nonstop, and the Lord's probably looking. I'm just like this while you're there. I'm calling on the Holy Spirit, Blessed Mother, all the time for each one.
I was just gonna say, I think your story about having to do the readings, and what happened to me over this triduum, kind of just shows how even in a very large parish, and we are a very large parish, when it comes down, especially to some of these special ones or special services, there's just so few that come out to help. I've never ushered a mass in my life, but I got to the Holy Thursday Mass early, and I get someone coming tap me on the shoulder and says, I see you at 9 o'clock Mass all the time. I said, yeah. He said, could you usher for us? I said, well, I never have. I said, really, you couldn't come up with however many ushers, 6 or 8 ushers for a mass with a bishop on Holy Thursday? Oh, people are out of town and this and that and the next thing. And I'm like, wow. And then he said, are you coming to vigil mass? Could you usher for us then? Because we're short ushers then. And I said, I would, but I'm a little busy. That's right. That's right. When I first got there, and Andy and Susan always sit on the left side as you're facing the altar in that one row, and my wife and I usually sit on the right side. And I mentioned to them when we got early that I was sitting on the right side because that's where the bishop usually gives communion, and I'd like to receive it from the bishop.
Yeah.
Then I got asked to usher, and I was way off to the left and received communion with Father Dan, which is all it's the same Jesus. So it's still communion, but I've had communion with Father Dan before.
Yeah. Well, that's what we mean, because like next week, you need to come, because this is what I'm going to be talking about. You may not need us, but we sure need you. We need help. I'm talking about, when the first group, falls down or whatever, the next group has to come up and help out the church. This is how the church keeps going, okay? So, next week we're going to learn, something about your gifts, your talents, your skills, where you would be happiest, to serve the church. Because that's where your inclinations are, your talents and gifts and skills. If you can, that's how Eric started going into the finance council, because that's where his background is.
Didn't we do a thing where we check these things and then you add it all up and you come down to the bottom?
That's the one. Did you do that last time?
And it tells you
Yeah.
what
He's
you're.
been here forever, so he's
Been here forever. It'd be interesting what changes there will be since that time to this time.
Well, you said that if we did that again, your answers would be different and you
Yeah,
would change the
slightly,
outcome.
yeah, maybe slightly, or maybe what, something else that the Lord wants to reveal to you, probably. So, so that you can find out where you would be able to help in the church. And it doesn't have to be every week either, like I said, where the need is, you just have to be available. And you can even decide, I'm not doing this week, but I can do next week. You can also do that, okay? So let's find out where those gifts are. Maybe you have something you didn't realize, a gift or skill or talent. And then there's a need in the church. Let me try that. Some people have tried different ministries. They would just try it out, a week or two, a month, and see if they're liking it, they're comfortable with it, or they just, no, I can't do this anymore. Then they try something else. Okay. So the liturgical ministries, such as, being the extraordinary ministers, we ask that you wait a while for those, like maybe a year or so. But on the other stuff, like helping your friends with the needy, ushering, that's not liturgical, but, just leading people to a pew, or passing the basket, stuff like that.
Even
Volunteering
greeting.
in other areas.
Greeting.
We need greeters. We're going to have a lot of activities in the future, in coming months anyway. We're going to need a lot of people, a lot of help. It could be doing it at the mass that you attend. So it's not an extra time and extra effort. It's something that you could help us with during the regular mass that you attend anyway. You're there already. Something like that. Just find out. Or at one time thing like splitting the palms for Palm Sunday, right? Helping out when we have an event for the parish, helping out, just cleaning up maybe, setting up, decorating, arts and environment. See how they decorate the church? We always need someone to decorate and take down. Just a few hours. And then when there's a lot, and it's quick. And they have the design, they know where things go already. They just tell you what to do. If you're not afraid of heights, get on the ladder or something. I'm not afraid of heights because I have to use the ladder a lot. So I've gotten used to that. So anything I do, I have to use a ladder. So I'm not scared of heights. Okay, so next week we're going to be doing that. All right, finding out where you could. So we are, like I said, we're going to have these classes, Mystagogia, Face of Your Journey, which is until Pentecost. Our last meeting for Mystagogy or Mr. Goja, meaning getting deeper into the mysteries, is May 17th. I would like to, the last Thursday. Pentecost is May 20th. Okay, and so the 17th is the last Thursday. That will be our last meeting as far as that phase of your RCIA journey. Now the next group will be starting in July 26th. We just put that in our calendar today. We had a meeting this afternoon, July 26th. So anyone you know that wants to kind of experience what you experience, July 26th is the first meeting. Same thing every Thursday night here, or in John Paul II when they need the hall. Okay. Now, very interesting. Remember, we wanted you all to go around the Easter fire, the bonfire. Just something that it was explained to you. But the Easter candle, right? The Paschal candle, brand new out of the box. And then remember that all the water was drawn out. Everything was dry. No holy water in the holy water fonts at the entrances, and the baptismal pool, they will all drain, Thursday night or Friday morning, Good Friday morning. And then they were filled in, the big pool on Saturday afternoon. Okay, that's brand new water, and there's a pump, there's a recirculation thing. So anyways, the brand new Paschal candle or Easter candle. And so it was lit the first time from that bonfire, signifying the light of Christ that shines in the darkness. The fire represents Christ's resurrection. And then that candle, I should have brought mine because I got the old one. I said, I want, my name on that Easter candle, the old one, because it's still tall. It is lit at every baptism and at every funeral. And all throughout the Easter season, which ends on Pentecost, so you see every Mass, they light the tall candle. Every baptism, that is lit, and every funeral, that is lit. At the funeral, the casket is draped with a white pall, like draped with a white cloth. And what are the prayers? What do they say? In baptism, we're clothed with this. Now it's the funeral. It's kind of like now is another phase. Baptism welcomes you into the family here. Now death welcomes you into the family there. The next life. Okay. You see all this? Baptism and then funerals, Easter candle. Anyways, the cross obviously represents Christ and his eternal light, his here. The PX, right? It means Christ. The grains of incense, they represent the 5 wounds of Christ. And you see the nails too, that they put 5 nails. That's 5 nails, wounds of Christ. And it always has the Alpha and the Omega, beginning and the end. And then it always, there's a year, the year is always somewhere. This one says 2016, but the new one would have said 2018, 2019, and 2019, and 18. Anyway, again, everything is brand new. The baptismal candles that you receive, keep those forever, okay? And then remember the day that you were baptized. And that white garment, as you know, that signified, you're a new creation, new life. You died to sin, you're a new creation, regeneration, new life in Christ. You rose with Christ in his resurrection. You died to sin, you rise with Christ. And all the 26 things were listed that happened at baptism. Okay. Let's take a break for now. Take a break.